We've talked a lot about the economy in the U.S. with GDP, of course, hitting 4%. And joining me today to discuss how this affects state credits is Jeff Lipton. He's head of municipal research and strategy over at Oppenheimer & Co. And it's great to have you here. We've talked a lot about the booming economy. Sure. And in your latest research note, you've really talked about how some of the credits have peaked or plateaued. What is it about your research that sort of leads you to think that we're in that scenario?
So, Taylor, first of all, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I think to answer that question, we first have to take a look at the fundamental backdrop, economic backdrop, that underlies municipal credit across the nation. Certainly, we had that 4.1% second quarter GDP, very good number, no doubt. But parsing through that number, let's take reference of the fact that part of that has to do with the fiscal stimulus put through by the Republicans, the tax cuts and the spending measures. That's very, very important. So the question is that 4.1% sustainable? And we're not entirely sure about that. If you look at the various sectors in the municipal market, and when we say plateau, we're really looking at a lot of the revenue bond sector. So let's look at the healthcare sector. Here's a sector that continues to come under pressure because of the political rollback for the Obamacare legislation. That's very, very key here. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. Let's look at the third-party payer mix, Medicare, Medicaid, for example. Again, a lot of uncertainty. So I think with all of that underlying healthcare, I really don't see that there's much upside potential. Let's look at the higher ed sector, for example, okay? So the higher ed sector, we have a lot of pricing pressure. We have a lot of uneven demand metrics when we're looking at higher ed. And if you look at the balance sheet, you look at the income statement, some of the metrics, we have seen are on the decline. Let's look at the water and sewer sector, for example. A lot of federal mandates that have to be adhered to. Again, if you look at the debt service coverage ratios for a number of these water and sewer credits, we're actually seeing a sort of a new normal in terms of median debt service coverage ratios, and those are being revised to the downside. So again, when we talk about credit plateauing, this is really what we're talking about.
Quickly talk to me about credits that you think still have room for some upside, like Michigan and California, for example.
Yeah, certainly. Michigan just won the coveted AAA, good for the state. I mean, certainly, you hear the expression, it's location, location, location. So with these credits, it's really all about management, management, management. And they've really been quite effective in terms of debt management, operational management, and financial management. So I think states like Michigan can definitely see more of an upside.